Hi everyone, it's Nicole and I'm here with Scrap Your Stash Saturday. And this Saturday I'm going to be using the Simple Stories I Am collection. And I had bought the whole collection and I hadn't used it yet. So I used it on Wednesday for my watercolor Wednesday. And if you haven't seen that, everything was kind of late being uploaded this week because we had problems with their internet. Plus I was feeling a little on the low side, but I was trying to upload stuff to YouTube and it was, like at one point it said 35 hours. So I canceled that pretty quickly. And then last night to upload the Friday one, it took forever too. So it was finally done by overnight. So I just uploaded it. So if I can get this one uploaded in a good amount of time, it'll be uploaded today. um, so like I said, I'm using the Simple Stories collection. So the pattern papers are all from the Simple Stories I Am collection and all the embellishments. The only thing I didn't use from that collection is I end up using a freckled fawn um, washi tape, and it says selfie all over it, and I just love that washi tape. I got it a couple months ago. I had placed an order with Freckle Fawn and ordered a few washi tapes and a few of their embellishment kits because I canceled my membership about a year ago, and that is the one thing that I wish I would have kept up. So I got quite a bit of the embellishments, and I think I'm going to restart my subscription there starting with November. But anyway, that's a different story. So I scrap these photos on Wednesday, and I don't mind scrapping the same photos more than once for a couple reasons. The story is different, and also I don't have that many pictures of myself that I really like. And I'm not saying that I really like this one, but I'm okay with it. And I changed the color to black and white. There was a lot of bright oranges and yellows in the background. We were sitting at a food court in our mall here in where I live, and so there was a lot of bright colors in the back. So I just made it in black and white. Now on Wednesday I did a page on sort of what I do, I guess, for a living, and how that has, I guess, shaped me. I don't know if I talked about that so much as what the job was, but with this page here, I'm going to talk about how sometimes you don't always have to scrap. I mean, it's not fun to scrap about bad stuff because, I mean, you want to put it behind you. You don't want to think about it anymore. But sometimes it can be therapeutic, and it can help you sort of maybe accept it and move on and just have a different outlook on it, I guess. Now, for me, at this point, scrapping about this is not anymore, I guess, sad or stressful because it's more of, I guess, a celebration. Um, so we'll get to what I'm doing, and then I'll come back to the why I'm scrapping this. So I took one of the pages from Simple Story, and it says little things like, I'm courageous, I'm loving life, enjoying the little things, I am successful, I am blessed, I am courageous, beautiful, I am loving, leaving a legacy, I'm happy, just a lot of positive words. And that's what I glued first on that black and white stripe, also from the Simple Stories I Am collection. And then I added some white gesso because I kind of wanted to push it to the back. I could have put some clear gesso. And I was thinking about, I had actually had it in my hands, and then I decided on the white just so that the pink that I'm adding now from this Tim Holtz, it's called Abandoned Coral, just so that the pink would be brighter. I'm adding it to some packaging and wow, is that ever bright. So I'm taking some paper towel, and by soaking up the excess, it really tones it down. And now, being that it is the next day, I think I did that yesterday, yes, the next day, it's way toned down. It's not as bright as it was. I'm sorry about the lighting there. Like I said, I changed the way that I'm filming, so I'll have to make sure to turn that light to the right a little bit so it's not right on my pictures. But anyway, I printed 6 of those little pictures. I cut out one of the cards that says I am a survivor. And this is what this page is going to be about. Now, a lot of the pattern papers that I'm going to use this time is going to be scrap from my first layout that I did. Now, if you've taken my class, Stretch Your Kit, you know this is not the way I like to scrapbook. Just kind of grabbing stuff at the last minute, and that's probably why this page took me like an hour and a half plus instead of 45 minutes. And if you don't know that I have give classes, look for my website below, and on my website just go to store/classes, and up there you'll see my first class, and I basically put a kit together, and I put it together with you, and then I go through the whole thing. And it just, for me, makes scrapping so much faster and easier. And when I scrap from my stash like this, that I just grab, even if I just grab a collection and I still have to go through everything, and I find for me that adds a lot of time. And so now I took a template out, and it's all little bubbles, and I'm going to put some light modeling paste, and then I'm going to dry that up. And I like putting the modeling paste on top of color. The colors sometimes will seep through. Okay, so sorry, the phone was ringing. It was my oldest to see when we were going to pick up Mason, because we were taking him to Boo at the Zoo, which reminds me, happy Halloween, everyone. So yes, we're taking Mason Boo at the Zoo. So you'll probably be seeing pages of that pretty soon. But now we're going to do this layout. So yes, the modeling paste, I like it so that, I put the color first and then the modeling paste, and then some of the dots take on the color and then some stay white, and I like that. And if you keep seeing the light flashing on and off there, it's because my power bar keeps powering off, because I just have too many things plugged in. I have 4 lights, and adding on the heat tool kind of sometimes blows it up. So I'm just going to dry that up, because I wanted to get this page done, because it was to be uploaded today. Now, most times I have my stuff done way ahead of time, but I've been working quite a bit and not feeling too great, so I'm kind of like just getting stuff done as it needs to be done. I do have Mix It Up Monday done. I just got to do the voiceover, so that's good. I'm hoping to get one more done for Mix It Up Monday at Project Life, because last week I only got 1 page, so I'd like to get 3 pages done for Monday. But so if you see stuff being a day late, it's because just feeling a little under the weather, but they are going to get up. So now I'm going to use some gelatos, and they're just from my stash, and I'm just putting it on some packaging. I took a color that was really similar to the one, the Abandoned Coral, except it has some shimmer to it, and I really love that. It just gives a different tone. And then I'm going to add a little bit more water, I believe, or maybe it's going to be wet enough, and I'm going to add some splatters with that color. I'm going to put again some Abandoned Coral, because I forgot to do that part, and added water, adding some splatters with that. And then I'm going to clean that up. And I don't think I do too much else to the background. I think I bring in one more template, and it didn't quite go the way I wanted to. So you'll see a little bit of color with that, but not too much. Okay, so just a little interruption again because my husband got home and he brought me a large mocha, and I love those. Okay, so now I wanted to add some more words to the background, and I just took a stamp, a roller stamp, and I think it's from October Afternoon, I believe. Yes, October Afternoon. And what's it called? Catchphrase stamp, I guess. I think that's the one I used. And it just says live, love, life. And I just love that saying, so I just stamped it over and over again, just using some Memento ink. And I'm just stamping it, or I guess it was my favorite thing, sorry, in the color steel gray. I just most of the time I just grab whatever I can see first. There's no rhyme or reason. So now I'm going to take some scraps that I had used on another layout, and I'm just going to make some layers and just add some embellishments, and everything is going to be from the I Am Simple Stories collection. Now, with the class that I just did, I did, starting kit, putting everything together. Now, I just want to give you a little peep on what's coming up next. I was going to do 2-page layouts. I've done all the sketches for it, but I think from what I've been gathering and stuff is I think I'm going to do next embellishment clusters. So I'm still, because everybody really enjoyed putting the kit together, and I'll still do all that part, but that's not what the class is going to be about. Is going to be about the embellishment clusters and really focusing on the embellishment clusters. So that's going to be coming up probably in about a month. So we'll be looking for that. But anyway, this one here, I'm going to do probably, well, I did, I am a 911 dispatcher, and now I am a survivor. So I'll talk a little some about that right now. When I was, I mentioned in the last video, so it's no big secret. Next year, I'm going to be 50 years old. When I was 25, February of 1992, I was diagnosed with Hodgkin's disease. I was 25 years old, and I had a 4-year-old, and I was a single mom. And it was the scariest time of my life. Now, thankfully, my mom and dad were wonderful. I moved back in with them, and they helped me with my daughter, because I was alone. They helped me with my daughter. My doctor, I still believe that he saved my life, because being 25 and you have a lump on your neck, the first thing they say is, oh, it's just an infection that you have or whatever. And even when I went to see the specialist, and it hurt, and when I went to see the specialist, when he touched it, I kind of winced, and he said, oh, does it hurt? And I said, yeah. He said, well, can't say, for 100% sure, but most time if the lumps hurt, they're not cancerous. So we'll still do the biopsy, and, to make sure. And I saw the specialist like in January. In February, they did the testing, and on February 21st, I got the results that I was I had cancer, and I had to do chemo and radiation. And so 2 dates that really, just something on the side here, but 2 days that really stick out in my mind is February 6th, because that's the day that I went for my surgery, and February 21st. So forever, right? Those days become kind of like, in your life. But since then, I have a nephew that was born on February 6th, and one of my best friends, her birthday's on February 21st. So, those 2 days anymore, I think about them first before, and usually it's days after before I think that, oh yeah, so, things happen for, what I mean, like a reason. Like I know I met those people because um, those days were going to be taken away from me, kind of in my mind and in my heart, and so I wouldn't have a heavy heart all those days. Now, like I said, this is a layout more of celebration than sad, because next year it'll be, actually, I was going on 26, so next year it'll be 24 years, right? That I've been cured. You're in remission for 5 years and then you're cured. Um, the prognosis back then was still really good. I think, I don't know what it is now, because I haven't checked it or anything, but back then it was 75%, which, you say that to someone and it sounds really good, but when you're living it, you focus on the 25 for some reason, not the 75. And when I was treated, there was another girl from, I knew her mom. I didn't know her, but I knew her mom. And she was the same age, same prognosis and everything. And after her first treatment, she died. She was allergic to the medication they gave her. So, I mean, yeah, the prognosis can sometimes be good, but things happen, right? So, and I was a single mom, and I totally worried about that. But like I said, I met someone the first 2 weeks that I was in the hospital, and she, oh my goodness, she helped me through the first process, like the denial and all the process that you go through. She totally helped me. I was 25, she was 37. We became really good friends, and she helped me deal with the fact that, okay, you've been dealt this, just fight it, just deal with it. And so she was a big help for that. Sadly, she passed away 6 months after I met her, and man, did I loved her. Like, she was such a sweet person. But so that was hard, because a lot of the people that I became friends with during this, a lot of them passed away, and but they were a great support to me, and I loved every single one of them. And the one of the good things was I met my husband when I was sick, and he didn't mind at all that I was sick, and he was a huge support. As a matter of fact, I met him in June of 1992, and we got married. I met him June 18th, 1992, and we got married June 18th, 1993. And it wasn't done on purpose that we picked that date. It was the date that everything was available, and that was the time I could get off work. And after the fact, it was like, hey, that's the day we met. So um, it and my oldest daughter uh, loves him like he was his dad. She calls him dad, and like he's been a wonderful dad to her and our two other kids, and so much so that I'm getting really personal here, but my youngest son, she has no relationship with her real dad, and that's all his choice. But um, my Josh, my youngest son, didn't know she had a different dad till he was like 12. Granted, she moved out when he was 6, so you know what I mean. He was quite young, but still, we never talked about that. It was never. Um, she was just his kid, and that's what it was. So I've been very fortunate in that aspect, even though that was a very trying time in my life. I ended up meeting our best friends. I met my husband. we got married a year later, and then we, bought a house, and then we had Caitlin and Josh, and like I said, this page is a page of celebration. Josh, for the longest time, didn't know that I had cancer when I was younger because I didn't want my kids to worry that they might get it, because Hodgkin's is hereditary. Although I was the first one known in the family to have had it, but it is hereditary, and I just didn't want my kids to worry about that. And also, it's a disease that, well, when I had it anyway, like I said, I haven't done research on it forever, but it's that usually it's mostly in males and between the ages of 15 and 25. I was a girl, and I was at that very end of that 25. And I had Hodgkin's. There's two types. There's Hodgkin's disease and non-Hodgkin's disease. And Hodgkin's is curable, and non-Hodgkin's, back then anyway, was non-curable. And Hodgkin's disease is a cancer in the glands. And so by the time that I got started treated, I had some in my neck. I had one on the under my left armpit that was about the size of a tangerine, and I had some down around my lungs because there's glands down there. It wasn't in the lungs, but in that area, I guess is what I'm saying. So I had to have chemo and radiation, like on my neck, under my arm, and in the chest area. And it was a rough year. I lost all my hair. I was bald, but I had my hair's not as thick as it used to be. I really, really had thick hair. And they told me that after my first treatment, I would have no hair. And I ended up shaving my head. My husband now, boyfriend then, shaved my head like 5 months into it, because I still had hair, but it was kind of, really not a lot. And I kept putting my hair up in a ponytail so that I could, kind of hide the bald spots. But I was just getting tired of, because your hair falls out in like clumps, right? So I was just tired of that. So I just went bald, and I had a bandana that I would put over top that you could get at the hospital. I have pictures. I don't have a lot of pictures, but I believe I have pictures. I should dig those out. And because I've done no layouts of that period of time at all. And this is my first one. And so, like I said, it was a trying time, but it was a time of triumph too, because it was hard, but it taught me that I could be strong. The funny thing too is, back then I looked like I was 15. I was 25 and I looked like I was 15. Everyone that met me thought I was 15 years old. It was kind of funny too. So that was probably a blessing, because cancer did age me quite a bit back then. So being 15, it just aged me to the age that I was supposed to be. And just a funny thing, we took Mason to Halloween at a nursing home, and everybody thought my husband was my dad and Mason was my son. So that was kind of funny. That was kind of a morale booster. This just happened a couple of days ago. But anyway, I am going to put a pocket in behind the layout, and I'm going to put all that journaling in behind there, just sort of how I felt, and just sort of the people that were there for me, and all that stuff. So it came with the I Am collection, and it's a trifold thing. I think I showed it, and I'm going to stick it in behind there. It's going to stick at the top of the layout, and just because the layout was kind of busy and there was a lot to say. So, and you can tell I'm not being neat for the back of the layout. I don't care about the back of the layout. And that's where that journaling card, there we go. I show how big it is. And I'm going to stick that in the back. This video was kind of long, but I just wanted to share. Like I said, it's it's the first time that I share it here on YouTube. I think I mentioned it before, but it definitely needed to do a layout and have it in my scrapbooks. Because like I said, I've talked about it with my kids a little bit now, but not too much. So later on, they'll be able to, come on YouTube, or if this is still around. But I still keep all my videos, and they can have also a recording of it. And I mentioned this before, but I'm going to do some QR codes, and I'm going to put it on all my layouts. And I don't mind if I do that a little later. I'll sit down one week and I'll just do them all at once, And I think the layout's going to come to an end. I don't have any pictures, but be waiting. We've been uploading them to my website. I think we're pretty much up to date. I think we only have a couple to upload, and hopefully my husband, because my husband's been doing that part, so I have more time to do the crafty stuff. And now I'm adding some enamel dots, and like I said, everything was from the I Am Simple Stories. What I loved is one of the fake brads had the I Am, and I covered the I Am that was on that card. And I just find that then it makes the card stand out a little bit more so that it looks like the title. And I also had a flare from Crafty Pickles that said Survivor, and I knew as soon as I saw that on her site that I wanted to make this page. And I'm going to add some splatters from Heidi Swap Color Shine in the primrose and the black velvet. And this is going to complete my layout. And I want to thank you for joining me today. And thank you so much for watching. Bye.